Tonight on To The Point. 2 years after 6 people died in the K Street shooting, those accused of the shootout are now closer to trial. Plus, searching for survivors in the deadly Taiwan earthquake. What we're learning tonight about the extent of the damage. And will the Oakland A's end up in Sacramento? What we know about their visit to Sutter Health Park. Later in the show, the ABC 10 weather team investigates the future of California's water and why desalination is not the ultimate solution to our water crisis.
Thank you for joining us on To The Point. I'm Alex Bell. Today marks 2 years since the deadly K Street shooting. 6 people died and dozens were hurt. And police say this shooting was gang-related. And tonight, 3 people connected to the shooting are now closer to trial. Our Alicia Machado was inside the courtroom and joins us with the latest tonight.
In court, we heard from the cousin of one of the people killed in the shooting who was in downtown that night. We also saw surveillance video of the moments leading up to the shootout that happened 2 years ago. This preliminary hearing will help determine if there's enough evidence to take this case to trial. The K Street shooting suspects back in Sacramento County Superior Court Wednesday as a preliminary hearing continues. The 3 suspects, Matula Payton, Smiley Martin, and Dondre Martin, face murder charges in connection to the shooting 2 years ago that left 12 people wounded and 6 dead. The shootout was gang-related, according to Sacramento police. Among those killed, 38-year-old Sergio Harris. His cousin Ike Harris was called to the stand to testify. He was with his cousin downtown on the night of the shooting, but when asked questions by defense attorneys, he largely could not recall the events that happened, saying he got information secondhand from social media.
I don't know what happened. The real truth is I just know the aftermath. My memory of that night was the traumatic parts only, for the most part. I remember holding my cousin. I remember him taking his last breath, but I thought he was breathing, but it was his last breath. I remember doing CPR.
The prosecution and defense showing surveillance video of the moments that led up to the shooting. The video shows crowds dispersing just before 2 a.m. Around the time Ike Harris says he saw someone holding up what appeared to be a gun. Some family members of those killed in the shooting were in the courtroom, wearing shirts with photographs of their loved ones, including John Alexander, the father of 21-year-old Jontea Alexander.
She was just here to have a good time with her sister. And unfortunately, that good time turned to tragedy, and I miss my daughter dearly.
He and others gathered with local organizations Impact and IMSAC Foundation to remember the lives lost on April 3rd, 2022, and speak out about gun violence.
This is a moment of trauma that these families have to endure every day of their life.
The wife of Sergio Harris and brother of 29-year-old Devazia Turner, who was also killed in the shooting, spoke at a news conference outside the courthouse.
I just want to make it clear that my husband was a victim in this tragedy, and it's deeply distressing to see him portrayed in any other light. The focus should be on bringing those responsible for this heinous act to justice, rather than shifting blame on the victims.
I miss my brother Devazia, because they should still be here with us today.
The preliminary hearing is expected to continue Thursday morning with additional testimony throughout the month of August.
All right, now let's turn to the 7.4 magnitude earthquake in Taiwan. It's being described as the strongest quake to hit the region in 25 years. And tonight, the death toll is rising as officials say at least 9 people have been killed and more than 1,000 are hurt. And rescuers, they're working to free dozens of people trapped after the quake caused landslides and collapsed structures. We know that roads, highways, and public transportation has been closed. Even a tsunami warning has been issued in Taiwan, Japan, and the Philippines as the country prepares for aftershocks. New tonight, Woodland police are now identifying the person they believe shot and killed a man on Tuesday. Take a look at your screen right now. This is 31-year-old Joseph Dyer, and police say the deadly shooting happened around 1 a.m. Tuesday at a home on Ashley Avenue, and the victim's name has not been released, and police say that they detained another man named Rigoberto Torres yesterday and recovered the murder weapon. But police believe Dyer is the shooter, so if you have any information, make sure that you call Woodland Police. In Turlock, police say that 73 dogs were rescued from, quote, deplorable and inhumane conditions, and now police need your help finding the man potentially responsible. Police say 46-year-old Jorge Ayala is connected to an investigation into animal cruelty and possible dog fighting. Investigators say that 3 homes were searched off South 1st Street where the dogs were found, and they've since been taken to a shelter to get some checkups and care. But due to the new dogs, Turlock Police Animal Services says they cannot accept any owner surrenders until further notice. And then take a look at this. A porch pirate caught on camera. You can see there's a person. Yeah, that's a person covered in a trash bag. They took that small package from the front door, and this happened out in Glenwood Meadows. We spoke to the homeowner who says that he just moved in and he's never seen anything like it.
At first, I thought they were messing with me, but when I got home, I see no package. I look around and I couldn't find the package, so I know somebody took it.
Surprisingly, he wasn't too upset, saying that it wasn't a very expensive item, but after this, he's definitely thinking about getting a few more cameras. All right, Oakland A's fans, this one's for you. The chances of the A's playing at Sutter Health Park might become a reality. Officials with the A's were visiting West Sacramento today, and our Jeannie Nguyen shares the details of their visit and how fans here are feeling about the possibility.
I just don't feel like Vegas is a great market for baseball.
As a diehard Oakland A's fan, James Haven is having a hard time accepting the team's move to Las Vegas. And while the A's prep for their move, Haven says having them in Sacramento, in the meantime, sounds like a good idea.
There are a lot of A's fans, and having the opportunity to have them here, see the support that they get from Northern California, would be really great for them.
On Wednesday, Oakland Athletics leadership visited Sutter Health Park in West Sacramento and are set to have an internal meeting the following day. This comes after the city of Oakland and Alameda County could not come to an agreement for the 2025 season because the lease at the Oakland Coliseum expires after this season. The team is currently looking for places to play as they wait for the new stadium to be built and open in 2027.
It's a little sad though, because obviously it's just temporary.
Nobody from the Rivercats or A's provided a comment regarding this visit, but Sacramento Mayor Darrell Steinberg previously said he wanted to see more sports, art, and culture in this region. For fans like Haven, if this becomes a reality, he believes it would only be a big economic help.
It's really going to help businesses like Burgers and Brew and other local businesses that rely on people coming into the area.
All right, Jeannie, we've got a lot of A's fans crossing their fingers, you know, but are they looking at any areas outside of ours?
Well, Alex, reports from our sister station in San Francisco say that the A's are also looking into Salt Lake City. Of course, they have another meeting tomorrow to discuss about their, visit here. So we'll just have to wait and see what they decide.
Yep. All right, Jeannie, thanks for the update. We'll stay on it. All right, next on To The Point. Could we see another super bloom in California? What experts are predicting this spring?
And we're tracking some spring showers as well as much colder weather. An update on the timing and totals we'll see with this incoming storm.
And later in the show, the ABC 10 weather team investigates the future of California's water and why desalination is not the ultimate solution to our water crisis. Well, we've all heard the saying, April showers bring May flowers, but many are wondering if California's wet winter will lead to super blooms again this spring. And you may remember last year, huge fields of poppies were seen in places like Antelope Valley, and then bursts of lupins and iris were also seen along the Northern California coast. And experts say the flower forecast remains pretty decent this year, but the bloom may not be as vibrant due to recent cold temperatures. And Monica, we're expecting more cold and wet weather starting tonight.
Yeah, we are going to see that big transition to our weather. Now, today we saw the breezy weather coming on through, just kind of a key indicator that that shift is going to be happening. Southwest winds still at about 15 to 20 miles per hour throughout the valley, with gusts up to about 30 to 35 miles per hour as we start to transition into this cooler, wetter pattern here. We've got some showers extending through the foothills and parts of the Sierra. Snow line is right about past level, if not slightly above it right now, as that warm air is still in place ahead of the cold front. Winter weather advisory going into play, though, tonight at 11 o'clock. That takes us all the way through our Friday evening forecast, with our location now above 3,500 feet. So that snow line is kind of moving its way down here. The biggest impact south of Highway 50 along 108 for 88 and 89, with our snow line dropping by Friday morning to 2,000 feet. Our biggest accumulations, though, will be seen above 3,500 feet and mostly above that 5,000 foot line. But Bear Valley we could see up to 2 feet of snow by the time we get into our Saturday morning forecast. As far as valley rain, about a half an inch to an inch of rain from the valley through the foothills. But again, some of the upper foothills, it's going to be a mix of rain and snow. Tonight, we'll see more widespread rain and snow developing throughout the Sierra. That will be moving its way through the valley. By tomorrow at the midday hour, we'll see areas of rain, even a possible thunderstorm. The cold air working its way in is going to bring down that snow line on Friday morning to about 2,000 feet. Just a little bit of flurry action at that elevation, but nonetheless, could see some really cold rain and areas of light snow in the foothills. Tomorrow, we're looking at highs in the 30s throughout the Sierra and parts of the foothills, with highs in the 50s along the coast, and we'll see that inland as well. A much cooler weather pattern shaping up for our Thursday forecast, and that cold air sticks around for the first weekend of April, as you can see region-wide, with our 10-day forecast showing a chance of thunderstorms tomorrow. Lingering showers on Friday. We're dry for the valley. Warmer weather ahead next week.
All right, Monica, thank you. Next, on To the Point, the ABC 10 weather team investigates the future of California's water. The water in the Pacific Ocean presents an opportunity for more fresh water for the state. But tonight we look at why desalination is not the ultimate solution to our water crisis. All right, we keep talking about it all this week. The ABC 10 weather team is joining us right here at 6:30 for their newest investigation called The Future of California's Water. And tonight, in part 3 of our series, meteorologist Rob Carlmark and the team look at desalination in the state. Now, California has more than 1,000 miles of coastline, and the water in the Pacific Ocean presents a real opportunity for more fresh water for the state. But unlocking that opportunity takes time, money, and resources. Experts say it's not for everyone.
Tens of millions of people rely on California's water. Water that's also helped to feed the world.
But the truth is, we are all one pie chart. I mean, we all have to utilize each other.
The rights for using California's water are complicated.
They used rubber cement, and over years, the labels have fallen off.
Tracking who gets what is antiquated.
The system has not been kept up to the complexities that we face in this kind of modern era.
As our climate changes, what can California do about its water?
We do not get to dip a straw in the ocean and just suck out what we want.
And what's already being done.
Water is life, right? We all need it every day. You need to keep the taps flowing no matter what.
This is the future of California's water, an ABC 10 weather investigation. California is the land of boom and bust. Our weather has the most dramatic swings in America. California also has some of the most drastically different climate zones, from rainforests near the coast to parched deserts, often separated by just a few hundred miles. Since the 1800s, there's been one common issue: maximizing the water supply. The massive system California has in place now is one of the most complicated, robust, and successful systems ever created. More recently, that system is incorporating the ocean. Desalination, or desal for short, is being put to the test in at least a dozen different facilities in coastal areas up and down the state. The plant in San Diego County is known as the largest in North America.
Desalination is an important strategy for a lot of these coastal communities in California because many of them are in small watersheds and disconnected from some of the larger interregional backbone infrastructure like the State Water Project and the Central Valley Project that does connect a lot of the state together.
Desal has many well-known challenges such as energy use, cost, and what goes back into the ocean, a very salty brine.
The ocean itself has to maintain a balance. Most people don't think about that. They just think, oh, big salty ocean. However, we do not get to dip a straw in the ocean and just suck out what we want. There are many things that depend on life in the ocean and that depend on the pH of that ocean and the acidity and salinity of that ocean to survive.
Charming Evelyn is the co-chair of the Water Committee for the Sierra Club in Southern California and grew up in the Caribbean. She believes conservation is key for California's water future.
Being an island, that means your resources are limited. Although there's plentiful rainfall, when you have a hurricane, your water is destroyed. disrupted. Electricity is disrupted. You save on gas because you pay for all of these things out of your pocket.
She stresses that conservation, among many other water-saving strategies that are already used, could be done much better, and desalination is her least favorite option.
If you look at places like Saudi Arabia, but before they put desal, and Israel, they actually exhausted all the other options.
Israel and Saudi Arabia, which is now known as the world's largest desalination water producer, began using desalination plants decades ago. Facing climate change challenges, fresh water in those countries is harder and harder to come by. A vast majority of water in those countries is now desalinated water.
I think it definitely has a future.
In California, Amanda Fensel with the Union of Concerned Scientists shares concerns about built-in drawbacks of desalination. She calls it a last resort.
I think there's definitely a time and place for desalination, and I think that the hope for different people that have to make the choice of yes, desal now, is have we exhausted all the other least cost solutions? Have we already conserved a lot? Are we managing our demand? Are we using more fit for purpose water?
Californians have long been concerned about their water supply. In Northern California, our landscape allows for much more available water, while in other areas, like Metro San Diego, they have many more challenges. The San Diego area sits at the end of a long line of canals and aqueducts from Northern California. They also rely on the drought-stricken Colorado River to their east. San Diego has limited groundwater and smaller mountain ranges, meaning less snowpack. There is virtually no more dam and reservoir potential in the area. That's why in nearby Carlsbad, the Pacific Ocean is now on tap. The Poseidon desal plant, funded by public and private dollars, opened in 2015. Each day it delivers nearly 50 million gallons of fresh desalinated water to San Diego County.
We really have to be creative, we have to be innovative, and we always need to be looking for where we can access that water supply. It's not localized here on the coast. The plant's here. We need access to the ocean water, so that's why it's here. 95% of the community in San Diego gets desalinated water.
More plants will be coming online in California. A groundbreaking to desalinate less salty, brackish water for urban areas happened recently in Antioch and should be ready to be open soon. Other plants, however, like a $1.4 billion project in Huntington Beach, have been denied after years of debate.
The ocean does need a balance. There is always a balance to everything.
We're a few steps ahead, but we want to keep driving that to support our lifestyle, to support our economy, and move forward.
And Rob joins us right now. Rob, can you give us some context as to where the next desal plant could go?
It's going to be very close. In fact, it's going to be in the Bay Area in Antioch. It was a very small part of the story that you just saw. And what's unique about their situation is that they pull water out of the Delta, which is mostly fresh water with some salt water. Now, they call this brackish water because it's not as salty as the ocean, so it takes less energy. It's very efficient, and that plant should be online within the next several months. At least that's what they've been saying.
And do we know what else is holding back desalination in areas where it could go?
Well, the main problem is that it tends to be expensive. It costs a lot of money, obviously, and it takes a lot of energy to pull the salt out of the water. They're almost always on the verge of some technological breakthrough. And I know to put all your stock into that we're just one step away, but it really seems like if something can break through to make it cheaper and use less energy, you could see not only desalination all over California, but really all over the planet. That's why you only see it right now in a few select spots where it really makes sense, and it's really the last resort.
All right, Rob, thank you so much. And make sure you tune in tomorrow night for part 4 of this series. Meteorologist Carly Gomez is diving deeper into recycled water and why Californians could soon be drinking recycled wastewater. It's a process known as toilet to tap. Right next in your price points, the airline raising luggage fees for peak pricing, plus the grocery store changing how you check out. All right, JetBlue has announced it's raising luggage fees again, now with peak and off-peak pricing. So during busy weeks, the airline is charging $50 for your first checked bag, and then $70 for a second, and then $45 and $60 in those less hectic months. And then the new fees affect flights in the U.S., Latin America, the Caribbean, and Canada. And then just walkout technology is out at Amazon Fresh grocery stores in the U.S. The Wall Street Journal reporting that the retail giant is replacing the system with dash carts, which scan items as customers shop. Now, neither system requires interaction with a human cashier, and the company will keep just walkout at Amazon Go locations. And that is our show tonight. Thank you so much for watching and for always inviting us into your home. We love telling your stories. We love getting out and getting to meet you. So if you have something that you think we should be looking into, you already know what to do. Reach out to me and the team. Remember, strangers are people you just haven't gotten to know yet. So take a little bit of time to get to know someone. Have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow. Hey, it's Alex. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. The To The Point team and I love hearing from you, and I hope that you'll stay in touch. And don't forget, you can always email me and the team at tothepoint@abc10.com, or you can even send us a text message at 916-321-3310.